You had a great day yesterday, and congratulations on a successful convention. I want to thank International President Jones and Secretary Treasurer Bill Creedon, all the international vice presidents. I know they're in the back getting a big picture taken, I think, with the Credentials Committee. Listen, it's an honor for me to speak to your historic union. President Jones, he's been very, very good to me in inviting me to speak at your winter meeting down in Marco Island and here in Las Vegas for your industrial sector. And I just want to tell you what an honor it is and privilege for me to speak to you today. I want to know, and my message to you today is be proud to be a Boilermaker. Can I get an amen to that? Be proud to be a Boilermaker. I want you to fight for your union because I want to tell you something. When you win, the labor movement wins and our country wins. That's what happens when you guys are successful. I want to tell you who gave my biography. Before I retired from my union, I attended 7 union conventions. Our convention was every 5 years. I was elected my first time, 1976. I know what it's like. It's both an honor and a responsibility to be a delegate to your union convention. Listen, a convention is the highest governing body in any union. And what you do this week, you set the course for the future of your union. And what you take away this week is the direction and the fight that you're going to fight to not only keep your union strong, but to make it even stronger. I also know that at nighttime, there's a little camaraderie. Because a guy from the Midwest, like I am, gets to hang out with a guy from the West Coast or a guy from the South. And I also know that's part of it too, because you're one family. And you get to take care of business by day, and you get to spend some time with brothers and sisters at night. And that's what a convention is all about. And I know you're going to have a successful convention. You already are. I want to take just a couple minutes and tell you about Ullico. And I want you to remember 2 things. That's all you got to remember. I know you had a big night last night, so you can say, okay, I just got to remember 2 things, what this guy's talking about, and then I'm done, okay? Here's what they are. Ullico protects unions, and I'm talking about unions, union members, union trust funds, and that's number 1. And the second thing, only 2 things you got to remember, is Ullico helps unions grow by putting labor's money to work to put union members to work. And I'm going to give you a couple examples of how we do it. First of all, Ullico, your union, I read, Newt, is 135 years old. Well, the first mention of forming the Union Labor Life Insurance Company was in the AFL's. There wasn't any CIO in those days. The AFL bylaws and executive council in 1905, when they started talking about, listen, we need our own company. Labor needs to have its own company. So we did, and it got started under Samuel Gompers, and 90 years ago next year, the doors opened and Ullico became in business, and it's been the Boilermakers' friend for 90 years. Our board of directors, all our shares are owned by unions. We have no outside investors, no Wall Street. Our board of directors is a who's who of the labor movement. You had President Trumpka here yesterday, who's on our board. Sean McGarvey, president of Building Trades, is on our board. And this wouldn't surprise you either. All our employees are represented by unions. We're an insurance investment company that its workforce is union. You know what? You can be successful, profitable, and union. Did you know that? You damn right you knew that. And that's how we operate, because other insurance investment companies don't have a union workforce. I want to tell you just a little bit about what we do, give you some examples. For 90 years, we've been doing life insurance. Dull life insurance, but it's not dull if you need it. We're the only company, when you're insured by Ullico, that if you're killed on a job, and we know how dangerous the work your occupation is and the occupation of the other building trades, you get a triple death benefit. And our great union workforce at Ullico has that check to the family within 72 hours of the union notifying us that we've had a fallen member. That's because we get it. We're labor's company. Our union workforce, we don't wait on a death certificate. We have the money out immediately. We know that that family needs that money at that time. We've done that for years. That's what we do today. And we're very, very proud of our track record of representing those fallen members. Your staff plan, we protect health and welfare plans through our stop-loss insurance. With Obamacare, there's no caps on claims, so we have Ullico stop-loss to pay those big claims that keep your stop-loss fund very strong. Fiduciary insurance and union liability. If you're a trustee, you serve without any compensation. You take your time. Contractors take their time, or management take their time. Ullico's fiduciary insurance protects you in case of a lawsuit. If somebody sues you, sues that trust fund, we've got your back. We pay the legal fees. We pay the bills so that you're protected when you serve as trustee. As a union leader, your international union and many of the lodges in this room have Ullico's union liability insurance. That means when somebody comes after you, somebody comes after your local lodge, we have your back when you have Ullico's union liability insurance. Let me give you some examples. The National Right to Work Committee, the Associated Builders and Constructors. The Koch brothers have an organization called Center for Individual Rights. And what they do is they bring lawsuits, and they develop the lawsuit to break the union, and then they go out and find disgruntled members to file the suit. Let me tell you, it's an effort to destroy the labor movement. We're not going to let it happen. Ullico has paid $30 million in legal fees and claims in the last couple years, battling back those forces trying to destroy the labor movement. That's what we do. That's what we have your back. That's what Labor's insurance company does. You can rest assured if somebody attacks your international or any of your lodges, we've got your back. You do what you do well. You represent your members. You organize the unorganized. We'll take care of the legal fees. We're in that foxhole with you. We're in that fight with you. You're not on your own. That's what Ullico does. Let me change the subject and tell you how we grow unions. For 40 years, Ullico's J for Jobs program, where we invest workers' pension money into construction projects around this nation. We have participated and financed over $30 billion, that's billion with a B, of construction projects around this country. We have created safe, sound, risk-adjusted returns. We do not lose our members' money. 2009 was the only year, and we're 40 years old next year in J for Jobs, that we had a negative year. 39 out of 40 where we've made money for the fund. In 2009, we had the tsunami in this country. We had unemployment like never seen. We had $1.7 billion in loans. We funded every one of them. At the same time, pension funds had to take money out to pay benefits. We kept every building trades member working on every project during that time. And let me just tell you too, last year, 2015 alone, we did 20 construction loans, almost $2 billion in financing, put 8,000 union members to work, 15 million hours of work, and over 900 million of wages and benefits back to benefit funds through Ullico's investment. All right, let me stop. Let me connect the dots to you guys. A couple years ago, your president and I sit down, and he had a vision. Look, Ullico's a small company, but it's been around 90 years. Your president had a vision to take the Brotherhood Bank from a small Midwestern bank and make it an international bank. You cannot fight a war if you don't sell war bonds. You cannot fight a war and protect this labor movement if we don't have the financial resources to engage whatever anti-union forces come at us. And when our members' money goes to institutions that take their profit and then invest it in ways to destroy the labor movement, we have got to get control of our own money. We cannot let our own money, they got enough money, they got enough billions, without us giving them our money to turn and to help destroy our union, our labor movement, and in effect our country. Well, let me tell you, when I sit down with your international president and I heard his vision, I was so excited and taken aback by what he wanted to do. And I said, how can we help you? How can we join forces and strengthen this labor movement? So all of those jobs I just told you about, all of those loans we made last year, let me tell you what we did. 20 construction loans. We're building projects all over America, West Coast, East Coast, Midwest. Every one of those projects has real estate taxes, and we escrow the money to pay the taxes on those construction projects, $36 million. We took the $36 million and deposited it in the Bank of Labor. So the Bank of Labor can make further loans to other unions, other training funds to build their training funds, our union members. We connected the dots so we could take labor's insurance and investment company, work with the Bank of Labor, strengthen both union entities, and further our cause as a labor movement. That's what we're doing at Ullico. That's what we're doing with the Bank of Labor. We're going to strengthen our financial resources in this labor movement so nobody can defeat us. Let me go further, tell you another story. In 2009, when everything was going to hell in a handbasket, and we had over 50% unemployment in the building trades, our board of directors said, we've got to do something to generate some jobs. So we started a Work America Fund for health and welfare funds and training funds and general fund money. And it started like any fund, started with nothing. We got a few $1 million here and there to start this thing going. And we wanted to finance construction loans. And we went to the Bank of Labor, and they gave us a $10 million line of credit so we could draw on that $10 million to finance the contractors, finance the developers that were building the projects to put the building trades back together. That was the Bank of Labor that did that. That was your bank that you own that helped spur development for the entire labor movement. And one other story, what we're working on right now. And I heard the brother from Canada talking about asbestos. Well, I want to tell you another story. Diabetes is ravaging our country. Every union member and every union member's family who has diabetes in their family costs an extra $10,000 per year for that member or that dependent of that member to the Health and Welfare Fund. Ullico has developed technology with a partner, Genesis Technology. You're going to hear more about this as we go. We're just rolling it out. So we can have a way that we can monitor that member's diabetes, his blood glucose reading. We know, and we have nurses network to say, look, you're not testing, you got to test. We've got to know, we've got to help our members and their families get those numbers down. That's what unions do. They serve their members and their members' families. We have the technology to take on diabetes. The building trades has been taking it on for 40 years with their Dollars Against Diabetes campaign. But we went to the Bank of Labor and we asked them to give us a line and letter of credit so we could finance this new technology, so we could fight diabetes because we know it's ravaging our members and our members' families. We're going to win that fight. We're going to lower those numbers. We're going to lower the cost for our own health and welfare plans, but the bottom line is we're going to make lives better for our members and their families. That's a union mission. That's the labor movement's mission. It's the Bank of Labor that's making that possible for us to do this new technology. That's what we're doing. That's our partnership with the Bank of Labor and with Ullico. Let me switch gears and talk about one other thing, infrastructure. Back during the recession, we started an infrastructure fund. We said, look, you can't trust Wall Street, and Congress can't get out of their own damn way. So how did we start our pension plans? How did we start our health and welfare plans? How did we start our training and apprenticeship plans? I'll tell you how we did it. We did it ourselves. We financed our own pension. We financed our own health and welfare. We financed our own training apprenticeship funds. We got no government money or no help, and we sure as hell didn't need Wall Street. So what we did is we did what we do every day. We started our own infrastructure fund. And since that time, and then we launched it in 2011, we've done over $2 billion of infrastructure. Your members are working on a gas-fired power plant in Ohio right now, financed by Ullico's infrastructure fund. We've done renewables, we've done transmission lines, we've done energy projects, water projects all over this country, and we're just beginning to grow. One of the things that we're committed to do, and your union is at the forefront of this fight, is figure out how to finance the carbon capture and storage that you need to keep your members working, your contractors working. There is technology that we can finance through Ullico's infrastructure fund to assist in this effort. Your union is leading the charge. There's a bill in Congress right now, I just read it, where you got the woman, Heidi Heitkamp, I wrote it down from North Dakota, a pro-energy, pro-union Democrat who's introduced a bill to make sure it's called 45Q, that you can use carbon capture and storage. It's hard to believe, the co-sponsor is Sheldon Whitehouse out of Rhode Island, who's probably the most environmentally friendly. You know, sometimes we not only fight the Koch brothers, we fight the radical environmentalists, Tom Steyer and this bunch. You know, we got nutcases on both sides. We got nutcases that want to put our unions out of business from the right, and then we got radical environmentalists who don't get it and want to put us out of work. This bill, which your union is in the forefront of fighting this fight, is going to make it possible that there's tax credits, so renewables have tax credits, but carbon capture and storage has tax credits. We want to finance those projects through Ullico's infrastructure fund. We can do it. Too many industries. There's ways to take coal-fired plants that we can do coal and gas, depending on the price, which is cheaper. Is coal cheaper? Let's burn coal. Is gas cheaper? We can burn gas. We can convert the plant through our infrastructure fund so your members and your contractors keep working every day and building the hours to qualify for your health plan, qualify for your pension. That's what we can do with Ullico's infrastructure fund, and that's what we're bound and determined to do. We're in this fight with you. Look, I always say we got to move the ball forward. We're not going to win every fight. We're not going to have a victory every day, but we're going to move the ball forward and we're going to gain ground every day. And that's what we have to do. We got to take on the big fight. Your union's taking on the big fight. The vision of your president, he said, I'm going to take this bank in Kansas City and I'm going to make it national and worldwide. That's what he's doing. We're in that fight. Yet President Trump got here yesterday, who endorsed the bank and said, look, we need financial resources, carbon capture and storage. Another big fight. Your union's leading the charge on Capitol Hill. That's what you're doing. We are so proud to be in that fight with you. Don't get complacent. Don't get discouraged. Stay fired up. Stay fired up. Don't leave here fired up and go back and get in that lazy boy, get the remote in your hand, watching HBO and Cinemax, okay? You got to stay fired up. You got to stay in the fight. It's not only about your union. It's not only about the labor movement. It's about your kids. It's about your grandkids. It's about what kind of country we want. Look, our country does best when we have a strong labor movement. When our labor movement was at its peak, we didn't have income inequality. We didn't have CEOs making 400 times what the average worker. There was a much narrower gap between worker and the boss. We have to take our country back. Who pays the taxes? Union members, working people. Who fights the wars in greater numbers? Union members and working people. We don't have any offshore accounts to keep from paying taxes. We don't have any games we play. We pay our taxes, which, by the way, finances other union members' pay. Where does the cops and the firefighters and those guys get their salary? From the taxes your members pay when you're working. That helps another union. I'm telling you, your union, your historic union, is leading the fight in so many areas in this country. I want you to hear about it from me. I know you hear about it from your officers. I see it every day. I'm so proud to be associated. I'm so proud to be on the advisory board of the Bank of Labor. I'm so proud to be associated with your union. Your union is leading the fight. We can move mountains. We can move mountains if we just do it together. The Boilermakers, the building trades, the Bank of Labor, the AFL-CIO, Ullico. I'll leave you, I'm a country music guy. I'll leave you with the words of country music, Jason Aldean. Who ever heard of him? What did he say? Don't back up, don't back down. Full throttle, wide open. Have a great convention. Thank you guys very much.